So just welcome everybody to week 14. This is the final week, believe it or not. So kind of crazy. We got to record it. So in this week, this is going to be obviously we're going to go through all of your presentations, and then what I'll do is we'll field any questions and prep for the final exam. And just a reminder on what we decided last week. So the content of today, so the output of this presentation. So I'm going to be taking notes while you guys go through the presentation. But the uploading of the BIM execution plan plus the PowerPoint can happen anytime prior to next Friday. So whatever dialogue we have today, you guys can review the output and then submit it, and then all of that will be looked at, and I'll probably do that over the holidays. And if you haven't noticed or if you haven't looked, the final exam is open. I'll have it open until, I can't remember what I said, until January 12th, but I recommend don't wait that long, because I think it'll just make it harder if you do that. So with that said, let's proceed with the first group. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And Sudhanraj, I'm going to make you the presenter. And you should now, somewhere in your webinar control panel, you should be seeing the share my screen. I just made you presenter, so you should have a button to share your screen now. Perfect. Okay, that actually worked without any complications. So rock on. I will turn it over to you guys. This is group number 2, so project number 2. Take it away. Have I lost you guys? Uh-oh, what happened?
I can listen.
Yeah, how did they disappeared? Well, no, they're there. Sudhanraj, can you hear us? We can see your screen. So Sudhanraj, Amit, looks like they're reconnecting their audio. Give them a sec here. Amit, can you hear us? Hold on. There we go. Sudhanraj, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. That was very strange, but okay. So we can see your screen. If you guys are ready, take it away.
Can we start now?
Yeah, we can hear. Just speak loudly so we can hear you through the.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the presentation for our BIM execution plan. So we choose our group is group 2, me and Amit. We choose the first project on our third assignment. Is that high-rise residential building. So its project location is Ottawa. The contract type is design with build. This building has 2 towers with a common commercial podium. This is the project information.
So right now I'm seeing your Visio file. Is that what you're intending to show?
No, sir. Just this.
Which one is that? Can you open the presentation?
They can share. They can see the part.
You can open the presentation on there.
This is your screen. It's freezed.
How can I choose my?
Do you have two monitors you're looking at?
No, sir. I guess like screen is freezed. We are showing the presentation, which is not working.
If you have PowerPoint, sorry, are you? What's going on, guys? Are you trying to show a PowerPoint, or what's happening here?
Yes, PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. But the
Yeah,
screen
so
that
if you go
freezed only the Visio plan.
Yeah, we're just seeing the Visio, the Visio file. So if you're in presentation mode, you've got to tell it to duplicate the screen so that it's showing on the primary monitor.
So can you make me the
Yeah, only
so we can. I think something wrong.
we already uploaded that PDF. Presentation file on in a Blackboard. If you open from there, we can read. Go through it. That's better.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Thanks.
You're unable to open it from your end?
I couldn't say how to say my screen. I couldn't say do that.
But we're seeing your Visio file. The screen where Visio is, we're seeing that. So can't you just open the presentation on top of the Visio? On the same monitor where the Visio is open.
Yeah, you know what?
And just as an FYI for everybody, this is all good. This is all good practice because this happens all the time in the real world. You're put in front of, this same situation with project managers. So that's why I wanted to really put this to the test as well, right? The experience.
Can I just have ball?
So try again to, are you still to share your screen and share the screen where your presentation is on.
Oh, that's very
Can you able to see now?
No, we're not yet. Did you press it? Did you press the share button? I'm gonna make you presenter again. Try again. There we go. Okay, we see your PowerPoint now. Excellent. So now if you go into presentation mode, there we go. Perfect.
Hey guys.
Okay, you wanna continue on now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is our project information. This is the high-rise building project. So the building has 2 towers with a common commercial podium. This location is Ottawa, and also the contract delivery method type is design build.
Okay, these are the template for the project schedule, which we can fill like the dates and all according to the client and the project. So these are the this is the template for the key project contact, which is organization, contact, name, location, email, and phone number.
What I'd recommend here, just sorry, go back one, sorry. The other roles, I think it might be a good idea to add in if you, well, do you think there would be any other roles considering it's a high-rise residential project? And maybe list what you think some of those could be. So just think about that prior to the final submission.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Like an example could be curtain wall designer or something like that, right? Just a specialty discipline that might come into the fold here.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the major goals, objectives. These are the, BIM uses goal description on the chart.
Okay. And on this one, back on the priorities, as a project manager, that would be an important one to put in. So if I looked at this, the first thing I would say is, oh my God, you're going to blow my budget. That would be the first right away, whether it's rooted in anything factual or complete and utter rubbish, that would be the fear. So there's a couple in here that would be, in order to complete the project, we have to do. And then other ones so oftentimes it's high and medium. And I think in the examples, oh God, I can't even remember what week it was now. There's a lot of high and mediums in there, but there's usually 2 or 3. Just looking at this list here, there's 3 on here that would be a definite high priority. And then the rest probably a medium, unless the text specifically said something off the bat. So just definitely give an idea of what you think the prioritization would be on these, on the goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the BIM uses we're going to use, like we need on the project. So it's like mark with X for the operation, construction, design, planning.
Phases. This is our project organization roles, and the staff who are working on the project and where's the location on the office. Those things are included in the chart.
Yep.
Well, this is a collaboration plan for all the consultants and how they're going to share their data. So first, with the 3 architecture firms, one is Ottawa, Delhi, and London. They can connect with C4R or BIM 360 with electrical, mechanical, and interior design, and they can connect with the rest of this with the project-wise.
The one comment, sorry, if you go back, the internal to the architects, connecting those 3 offices by WAN would be a challenge.
Sorry,
because of connect.
I did that, but
yeah, sorry, connecting Ottawa.
Use the previous slide. I corrected it, but I used. I'm sorry for that. Like they are connected with the C4R.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So just check, make that correction. Yeah, because I wouldn't. The WAN to Delhi would just be very challenging. Yeah.
And, they can connect to the Civil 3D with the project-wise and use Equinix for the deliveries.
Cool.
So these are the process map for whole project. So So there's a B. There's a four phases. I mean, pre-planning and schematic design and design development phase and construction document and construction phase. We include the process mapping on this set and also I think
make sure like when I check it, when I review the documentation, the 5 elements or the 5 uses you have in schematic design and then in design development, make sure it correlates to the selected BIM uses on the chart, right? And if there's one missing, that's where the provided Visio or PowerPoint from the execution plan template lets you to augment it, so you're showing the uses that apply. So just make sure the 2 correlate to each other.
okay.
Explain a little bit.
Yeah, in the process we did schematic design analysis. After that, we did energy analysis on the model. Then we start the design development process for all models, and we get the results. If it is, I mean, we meet the requirement, we will do the next phase, or we will do again the same assessment for those models. Each phase we get the information exchange output documents on the bottom tool. Yeah.
So this is a meeting procedure for like when we have the meeting, we have the first kickoff meeting, and then after that it's a BIM execution plan development meeting, design coordination and construction over the shoulder, and
right.
These are the like meetings.
So for the last row there, the any other meeting, for that, think about because specific with the asset management or the analysis, if there's any other type of meeting you think could go in there, might be worth adding that on there, like potentially an owner review, a data validation of something. So remember, you've got the AConnect system where you're feeding and publishing the information. There may be a need to validate and review what's going through that, right?
Okay. So this is the model delivery schedule. Each model, what format we are delivering, and what softwares we using. That's next it.
Okay. Civil wouldn't be Revit, right? Yeah, verify that, and even so civil, make sure that's correct, and then electrical, they have the schematics as well. So just make sure you're accounting for both of their deliverables.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the quality control checks. So first is a visual check, which we can do on Navisworks like weekly with all the consultants. And after that, there is an interference check to detect problems in the model where 2 building components are clashing, including soft and hard.
Yep.
So after the standard check, I found this online, the RIB, for the software for the standard check.
What's RIB? I've never heard of RIB.
Yeah,
Is that
I
like
found this
a
on online. Even I didn't use that, but we can share the screen with the software. It's for the standard check.
RIB software? I just let me see. Is it says a German company for? I don't know. Yeah, if you share, yeah, if you can share it, or you know what, I can. If you know what to do, maybe just put a hyperlink to it, and then when I review, just so that we don't take up more of the time here. But no, that's
Okay.
I've never heard of that, so that's kind of cool. I see
Okay.
here it's an online. It says here an online project management. It says 5D RIB software, 5D BIM. Is that what you were looking at?
Yeah, sir.
It's
Oh,
showing
by
I2
I2.
World
Yeah,
2007, China.
yeah, yes. Sorry, yes. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Continue. I get excited about the craziest of things. No, that's, yeah. Good stuff.
So for the model integrity checks, we can use like Solibri.
Yeah.
I didn't sure about the frequency of the checks, but I wrote weekly.
Yeah. That's usually right, especially when a project is going, full steam. So that's good.
Okay. So this is for the like deliverables.
Yeah.
First are the stages, design stages and construction stage. And for the design concept phase, we chose LOD 100 to 200. For development, 2 to 300. And for the whole construction documents, like working drawings, LOD is 300. There is an estimated delivery date, and the project stakeholders involved.
And the stakeholders, the last one there, it's into the closeout phase. That's correct. If I was a real project manager, I think this would lead to quite a bit of dialogue. So, I guess it's the completeness of an LOD 500 model and what that actually means is still something that I think gets debated quite a bit. And then the responsibility of the contractor versus the designer. So expanding from all the legal discussions. But yeah, no, it's good. Just as a BIM coordinator, that last line would generate quite a bit of dialogue.
Like I thought LOD 500 is like the complete building after construction.
Right, but that's the whole point, is that when construction is completed, you're basically of an as-built operation-ready model. Usually the designers are long gone. So, there's always a struggle that, as an architect, I would say, yep, I have to deliver record information, but I wouldn't want to upgrade my model from a 300. I would just want to make sure my 300 model is right. So the example, you build the door, I put the door in spot X. As a contractor, you moved it over 5 feet. I'll move my door. But I'm not going to update my model for how it was built. The contractor will. And then from the owner's perspective, it's going to be, I don't care about how you guys are fighting. I want all my information together. So it's always a very interesting situation. So, yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Okay. No, very good. So adjust some of those comments I had. The one thing I'd recommend is adding in the software solution, like a diagram for the software as well. Unless you make sure it's all, So like kind of like the previous 2 assignments, just kind of make sure that both those diagrams are there. And then, submit that with the BXP and rock on.
Okay,
And also, when we are starting our project, with team, that time we just know some details, deeply. So I hope we are created this presentation and the next plan we resubmit finally. We will do better than this.
No, rock on, man. Rock on.
Yeah. Thanks. Cheers.
No problem. Okay. Good. who would like to go next? On what we got here? Victor and Ravi or Lydia and Ben?
We'll go. It's okay.
Is that Ben? Okay.
Yeah.
So should I make you the presenter, Ben?
No, I think Lydia has the
Okay.
PowerPoint.
I will make where is she? Lydia, make presenter. Okay, so Lydia, you should be able to share your screen. Okay, and you're still on mute, Lydia. There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we got the water treatment plant, baby. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we're LB-BIM. We're doing project number 3, the water treatment plant.
Cool. I like the name.
Okay. Next page.
Yeah. So just 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, we start explaining to the owner or those who are not familiar with BIM. So what is BIM? BIM, it's basically a process for creating and managing all the information on a project for the 4 phases: pre-design, design, construction, operation. Why use BIM? Best reason is to provide a greater return on the investments in their facilities. That's it's the opportunity to save money, control costs, and reduce risk. So that's the greatest reason. And our BIM execution plan overview, our goal is to integrate BIM and take advantage of the information model created during design and construction to enhance and feed into existing future facilities processes. And
Cool.
What's the BIM execution plan? It's basically an agreement by all parties of project to share in the development and use of a common BIM model for a specific project. Project information, as we already said, project name, well, it's the water treatment plan. The facility owner is Puccino Developments, located in Ottawa, Ontario. Delivery method is design build. And a bit about the project, it's a water treatment plant complete with 5 treatment facilities, water intake and outtake, chemical storage, and a network of buried infrastructure. Key project contacts for this project will be the main ones are the project manager, the information manager, the BIM manager, the architect, and obviously the coordinators for the engineering disciplines like structural, mechanical, electrical, civil, and for construction will be the construction manager and the cost estimator.
This is intriguing. You're speaking to my passion for Godfather as well as my passion for soccer.
Yeah, I just
I don't know, man. That's pretty cool.
I had to come up with some names.
Yeah, exactly. But Mohamed Salah being a Liverpool, I don't know, but
yeah.
okay.
Okay, so the major BIM goals and objectives for the project. I only listed the most important ones, the high priority ones. They're project documentation, accurate 3D record model for facilities management, and record applicable data for facilities management. And you also have the potential BIM uses there, which will be shown next slide. So BIM uses for the 4 phases will be program and site analysis For pre-design, design phase will be design authoring, design reviews, 3D coordination, and also potentially structural analysis, mechanical analysis, and light analysis. And construction phase will be 3D coordination, record modeling, 4D modeling, cost estimation. And the operation phase, potential BIM uses will be for asset management and record modeling.
So as BIM coordinators, this is most likely a heavy slide where you be ready for bombardments of questions. So often, like depending on your audience, a project manager may or may not be familiar with what these mean, especially 4D modeling, they might have confusion. So, you know, when you do this, you know, you have the execution plan template at hand, description of all these uses. I think often I have a slide deck always set aside that I can pop open and maybe show an example. So just keep that in mind in the real world. Like right now, you're obviously speaking to someone who knows the stuff, right? But often the audience, a client might look at you and just say, why and what does this mean? And you know, money, right? Sometimes that's what all they think of. Cool.
So next. So Lydia, you want to talk? Or?
I think I'm next one. Yeah, so the organizational roles. We have the first one is project manager, and after BIM manager, the architect, structure, mechanical, electrical, civil, construction manager, cost estimator.
Just one missing. I think is because it's a water treatment plant. Make sure you account for the piping engineer. So in the list of disciplines, process piping.
So what would it be called though? Like the piping just.
Usually it's a process engineer. So
process engineer. Okay.
Yeah, and that's one. Like oftentimes they get confused with mechanical. So and when. Yeah, so there's building mechanical and process mechanical are usually the distinction, but that process is distinct that would be the distinct discipline for this project. Different than the previous one, which is why I hinted at the curtain wall, for example, because high-rise buildings have that type of uniqueness, but here it would be process.
Okay.
Cool. So it's just an overall description for the main roles. Sometimes they are mixed up, so it's just a definition so that everyone would know his role, responsibility. It would be much easier for collaboration.
We have. Sorry, go on.
That's okay. So project manager, he sits above the information manager and BIM manager. Information manager is mainly about validating data throughout the life cycle of the project. The BIM manager is responsible to manage everything, standard, collaboration, in everything about managing the BIM process itself. BIM coordinator as coordinating the process and the collaboration strategy.
So just go back. The comment I was going to make there, the delineation of the responsibility is interesting. As a project manager, if I was the audience, I would grill you on, are you implying I need 3 people or not? So just be cognizant of that. And on a project of this scale, often, you know, just because I came from CH Film Hill, I've done the water treatment plants. This could work, as in, because there's multiple facilities, I could have a coordinator per facility. I could have an overall manager governing the entire process. And then I could have an information manager that's feeding and tying into the asset management system or the operations. So the delineation could work. But in the flip side, as a project manager, I could say, well, no, I don't want 3 people. I just want 1 person to do it all. So being able to have that dialogue to understand the potential scope and time needed due to the nature of the project is very important. So just that's the comment to think about.
Okay. Now we start to make like an assessment form for the BIM maturity for the firms we are working with, and from after we made. Can you hear me?
Yep. Very good.
We made like a training program that could help in like putting the project theme in like in a view with what we are talking about. So we would review the project BIM goals and objectives, high level workflow overview. We can have an overview training for the project execution planning. All the software is gonna be used, just an overview for all of that. It's because there are some firms are new to BIM, and maybe it would not be easy to coordinate together. So that's why we are gonna talk about that. Now this is the BIM process design. After viewing together the BIM uses, we are able to have a process map. This is an overview of what we are going to do, and there are also a list of sub-processes for every phase and every step. And now we can know what information exchange we are going to use and when we need it. So we see that this process map is critical for a good coordination.
And same comment here, make sure those the ones listed for design schematic and then design development are matching the ones from the first, the earlier slide. The uses you select per phase should then be represented in the uses you're showing here at the different phase.
Okay. Now the collaboration diagram. Our strategy for the collaboration diagram was we saw that we have multiple firms, and those firms are in multiple offices in multiple countries. So the best was that the main collaboration solution was the ProjectWise Cloud for all parties to share in it, and some are going to be working the work in progress in it, except for Revit. We'll be having it's only one office, so they'll be having their lane and just publish and share to ProjectWise. For the deliverable, it will be published from ProjectWise and also from Microsoft Station for the 2D drawings. Same here for the process piping and communication. They'll be having a lane, and then their iModel is going to be published to the ProjectWise.
Cool.
What else? That's all. Yeah.
The shared publish to the LAN, I would put a multi-directional arrow, because it's going to be pushing to ProjectWise and then pulling from back to the LAN. So that architectural team, their struggle will be to continually make sure their stuff is current, whereas the rest of the building teams and the site teams will always see the current stuff. So just need a bi-directional arrow there. And the same for the ProjectWise to the LAN of the piping guys. They'll be pushing and pulling as well.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
And it's just for like a note that ProjectWise Cloud is good for using for use, but it needs to be strictly follow the prescribed workflow and communication and communicate well.
Yeah, next section is visual check, quality control. So the following checks should be performed during the design construction process to assure quality. So a visual check to ensure all the components are in place. Software for that will be Revit, AECOSYM, and Solibri. Interference check using Solibri. Standards check to ensure that the BIM standards have been followed. Software will be Revit and AECOSYM. Data content check for the asset list. That will be with SmartPlant and Excel. And the model integrity checks. That will be with Revit and AECOSYM. And finally, error and warning checks to conform to LBBIM's BIM requirements. That'll be with Revit and AECOSYM.
So the only comment I have for where you have Revit and AECOSYM, you should probably also have Revit, AECOSYM, and SmartPlant, because the piping model will be a critical piece. So that I would add that to those. And then the comment for interference check would be, it'll be an interesting challenge going from SmartPlant to Solibri through the IFC file. And I'm not saying that's impossible. It's just it'll be an intriguing workflow to do that. So I think it's a good solution. Just make sure everywhere you have Revit and AECOSYM, make it Revit, AECOSYM, and SmartPlant. So you're not forgetting about the piping model, which is a critical part of water treatment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Next section is technological infrastructure needs. Basically lists the software that we're using for BIM use. Listed there, design authoring. For architecture, it's Revit. For structural, mechanical, electrical, it's AECOSYM. For plant process piping, SmartPlant. For civil site utilities, it's Open Roads. For civil electrical, it's raceway and cable management. And design review, Solibri. Record modeling, AECOSYM. And asset management, Excel. Yeah.
Cool.
Next one. Model structures, so the BIM and CAD standards. For CAD, standard will be the Infrastructure Ontario CAD Standards and Guidelines, version 6 for design authoring. For BIM would be the IFC for data sharing, the ISO 16739 2013 for the record modeling. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for a project deliverable, upon our employer information requirement, the main deliverables would be 2D, and we have it in the construction stage and in the closeout. And we have the I model in the construction phase and the operation and maintenance phase, and a record model for the closeout, and asset list for operation and maintenance. But taking into consideration that BIM is not just about the deliverables, we are adding value to the project, so like increasing efficiency and reducing waste in design and construction, and offering the client a better product with less cost and more certainty about the final output. So basically the value and the service we are offering, it's like extra service for the model review for clash detection, and reports for design model, as well as visualization for better understanding the output before construction. This will lead us to the other point, which was the assessment. And since we are talking about BIM with less cost at the end in the future of the project, we are offering a solution for the assessment form problem, which is the IT infrastructure. We're proposing a budget for the IT infrastructure for the firm having problem. If approved with the owner, it will be much better for the output and the future profit. If there is not a possibility for that, we can try to like control the number of users for the internet connection, like who will be using the internet when, so that it could be much better. But if the owner could put into consideration the future profit and less cost, he will go with the solution one. That's all.
Awesome. No, very good. Very good. Good job.
Thank you.
So just, yeah, take those comments.
Okay.
Yeah, that was very nice. Yeah, so we're going to update this, the execution plan, and yes, thank you. Thank you. Ravi or Victor? Who,
you can send me the...
Victor,
yeah.
Okay. So I'll make you presenter now, and Ravi, you're still on mute. So there we go. Okay. So Victor, we see your screen. Yes, sir.
1 second. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is our BIM execution plan. We're group number 1, Ravi and Nae and myself. So our project is the project number 1, from assignment number 2, which is the 2 towers. We proposed the location on the Le Breton Flats. So that's the location from the address. It's an empty lot at Le Breton Flats. And the project owner, we said it was going to be the Rendezvous Le Breton Group. The project name, Sibling Towers, because it's 2 towers and a commercial podium connected.
Cool.
Yeah, I think, and design bid built. So we, for the project schedule, the phases, we propose that the preliminary planning goes from January into March, so 3 months of planning with the owner, architect, and contractor. Design documents, we just guessed 1 year for all the documents, as is a 2 tower building. So it's like almost 2 buildings. Construction documents, 1 year as well, in which part of it will also be like overlapped. And construction from 2020 to 2022, so 2 years for the construction of the high-rise. And then Ravi can talk about the project goals and BIM uses.
So next is project goals, and the first one is increasing effectiveness of the facility, and it is mid-priority. And the potential BIM uses are energy analysis and lighting analysis, as owner has mentioned that he need a more energy efficient building.
Okay.
Next is track process during construction, and this is scheduling is the main BIM use, and the clash detection, as it is a high-rise building, and so it is priority is high. So 3D modeling will be the BIM use, and increase field productivity. The design review and 3D coordination is the BIM use, and next is identify cost association with design modifications, like cost estimation, that is also high priority, and assess design performance is also high priority, as performance of the building is required. So 3D coordination and design reviewing will be the potential BIM use. And next is overall maintenance cost. Then the BIM use will be record modeling. And next, please.
So just before you go, the other one, the BIM, the design authoring, we should probably have a high priority goal description of just efficient development or production of drawing output or something of that nature, with the BIM use being design authorship, and like that should be added as in this table as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, thanks.
The next is organizational roles and staffing. So first BIM use is 3D coordination. The architectural firms will be coordinating in Ottawa and London, and we just mentioned some rent. We don't know how to assign the staff and working hours, so I just did as I feel like reasonable.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And as a BIM coordinator, I think that's a fair comment that you would bring forward to your project manager and say, this is a suggestion. But yeah, I remember, I always say BIM doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? So knowing that there's these questions, we have suggestions, but it depends on project management, project budgeting, the project controls, costs, everything, available staff of this. So it's all, the burden wouldn't be on you to make the decision, but a suggestion is always a good place to start. So that's good.
Okay. And the major architectural firm will be in London. So design authoring and design reviews will be in London. And next is cost estimation, that is from Toronto, and record modeling again from London, and energy analysis, and there's Ottawa, a firm in Ottawa of mechanical and electrical. So I guess energy analysis will be from Ottawa, and site utilization planning will be from Delhi.
Okay.
Okay, next. So next is the process map. So first, in a conceptual designing, there will be a pre-design cost estimation. So next is schematic design phase, and the authoring of the cost estimation. And as we are focusing on energy analysis more, so there will be a energy analysis, lighting and mechanical analysis of schematic design, and then again authoring, and then 4D modeling and 3D coordinations. Then there will be outputs like information exchanges on every phase. So next phase is design, the design phase, the authoring of design model. site logistics, cost estimation, record modeling, 4D modeling, 3D coordination, and digital fabrication. So we will get an outputs from each phase. Next is compilation of record model, and there will be a record model output, and then analysis will be done, and then the design process will be ended.
Okay. The only comment, think at the beginning if there's any inputs, because it is an info exchange.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you look at the template maps, there could be an input of a program brief or something that you might want to show on that end.
Client, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Next is BIM and facility data requirements. So the owner has given some requirements as design and constructability reviews, cost estimation, energy efficient design, and he want to be a part of 3D coordination.
Right.
So on this slide, we're going to talk about the collaboration. So we have the architecture firms in London and Ottawa, and civil firms in Montreal, Toronto, mechanical, electrical in Ottawa, landscape in Delhi, structural in Montreal, and interior design in Ottawa. So the architectural, mechanical, landscape, structure, interior design, they're all gonna collaborate through C4R. And then the civil in Montreal and Toronto on project-wise, connected to all collaborating through Econex and to each other.
So the comment here is the landscape architecture, the brief lists them as using AutoCAD. Mm-hmm. So they won't be able to go through C4 because that's Revit only. So they're going to have to go into project-wise.
Yeah.
And then don't forget about the electrical schematics. So electrical is tough because they're going to have the Revit model for, I hate saying normal modeling, but then the schematics for wiring diagrams and everything of that nature. So they're going to have the Revit piece and the AutoCAD piece.
We thought about the landscape architects using Revit as well. It's not common, but I read that it can, work in their advantage. And we're going to show that on the software, on the technical solutions as well.
Okay. No, and that's fair. Yeah. So if that's the approach, as I said, landscape is one of those odd ones, but with a high-rise building and a lot of rectilinear, using Revit for landscape is feasible. So if that's the approach you took with landscape, then C4R does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next is the meeting procedures. The BIM requirement kickoff that will happen once on the preliminary planning stage will include the architects, engineers, client, and the contractor. So they have an idea of what is going on. Of course, the meeting cannot be in one place only, so they're going to use the web to share the presentation between Ottawa, London, Montreal, and Toronto. The BIM execution plan demonstration will happen monthly, and it will involve, again, all the participants, the architects, engineers, client, contractor, and it will happen over the internet. So it's demonstrating how the BIM execution plan is being followed. So it's open and clear and transparent, for all parties involved. Design coordination on the design development weekly, including the architecture firms, engineering firms, and contractor. in Ottawa and London, and maybe and also Montreal and Toronto. Construction over the shoulder progress reviews during construction weekly, and it's going to be the contractors happening in Ottawa.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yep, very good.
Okay, so the model delivery schedule of information exchange, digital models from the architect, and one time the frequency every week, the model file or architecture, Revit using Revit, the native file RVT, engineering as well weekly, and using Revit and RVT file, and then the coordination model happening weekly during construction using Navisworks, so native file NWD.
And for the engineering, don't forget about the DWG based models as well.
Okay.
Right. So those should be part of that.
Okay. Thank you. And the quality control, Ravi is going to talk about it. Or not?
Ravi?
So just, yeah, I'll go through that. We're
Okay.
going to have the visual check to ensure that there are no unintended model components and the design has been followed. It's going to be by the contractor using Navisworks for construction. But also, now thinking about it, the architects and engineers also have to be responsible for the visual check. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
very good.
Yeah. So not just during construction. And the interference check, the BIM manager will detect problems using Navisworks before the model delivery, but during the stage as well. Standards check, the BIM technician will ensure that the BIM and AEC CADD standard have been followed, and they will see through Navisworks, and it's going to be prior to model delivery. The model integrity check, the BIM manager using Navisworks and through the development of the project as well.
Cool.
So the technological infrastructure needs, we have architecture, interior design, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and landscape architecture, all using Revit as the authoring tool. And civil site and civil utilities will be authored using Autodesk Civil 3D with collaboration with ArcGIS. The visualization part will use 3D Max for the renderings.
Hi, I just
and
wanted to know
Autodesk Revit Live for visualization for the client. And deliverables, PDF and IFC, the model file. And then also using as a review tool, Navisworks, Revue for the PDF, and Sapphire for the energy analysis that they're going to run.
Awesome. The only comment is, again, the electrical schematics. So make sure that portion is put into the fold here.
Okay. And so the technological infrastructure needs for the architect, structural, mechanical, electrical, landscape, they're going to use Revit. version 2018. They're gonna keep the version into the end of the project. Civil 3D and version 18 as well. Sapphire is going to be used for energy modeling. Actually, we got that part not correct. And it's the version Sapphire architecture. And BW21 is for construction on the field following to see like doing construction. And then clash detection using Navisworks, and again with architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical model version 2018.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, no, really good.
Okay. Ravi, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for model structure, we are dividing the building, the two buildings, the models into two buildings. Like for architectural, there will be a format for building 1 and building 2. Same like for civil, the Revit model, and mechanical model, plumbing, electrical, structural, energy model, construction model, and coordination model.
So with this approach, so I'm assuming it's building 1 and 2 because of the 2 towers. What about for the podium? What are your thoughts on that? So the common commercial podium underneath it all.
With that about one model, so like one model linked to another. So the commercial podium would be part of the building 1.
Okay, cool. Good stuff.
Sorry, I have to go through. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. And for model structure, like we have separated the building 1 and building 2, and as Vitor said, that podium, the common podium will be part of building 1, and the floors and the separation is also according to the floors, different floors, and different disciplines: architectural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural. And also it can be for the site planning and execution, according to zones, different zones. And the standard measurement system will be metric. And we are not sure about the reference coordination system. So
right. So, and I like how you put that. So, when you present this to a project manager, prior to, usually it would be coordination with the civil team, because you'd want you as a BIM coordinator I would argue should never say what the coordinate system is, but you would probably be tasked with obtaining it either from a land surveyor or from the project's civil team, and then that could be documented, and then go from Civil 3D to Revit and do all that good stuff.
Okay.
Awesome. Oh, good job. So again, yeah, we do address the comments, get everything uploaded by next week. But this was honestly, guys, everybody was what I was hoping for. So yeah, not that I'm speechless, because that's rare. This was good. And for me, just thinking of all the BIM coordinators I've hired and I've trained, this skill, the test of this skill today was to say, here's the criteria, here's bits of information, not everything, but some. Put something together, stand up in front of a stakeholder and tell them about it. And I cannot tell you how often this happens. Last Monday, I was summoned to go to New York, which is great. You always want to go to New York City. You don't say no to that. But I had to stand in front of a client and talk about, our approach to BIM, a couple of technological solutions, and why we would want to do it. And it was just come and do it. And we do it. This is the whole thing, right? So for me, I tried to make this as close to what the real world would be like. You did a presentation. If I was your project manager, gave you some comments back, most likely there'd be more dialogue with a true project manager of, what do you mean? What's it going to cost? Why would I want to do this? Or it might be, okay, sounds good. Now you go back, hone it, which is good. Make any modifications, write up the rest of the plan, and then the act of uploading to Blackboard is essentially for me like emailing it now to the team at large. Here's your solution. Let's get ready for our initial kickoff, start the dialogue, and make sure everybody understands. So, yeah, no, just with pride, I sat through the last hour and a bit, and I just thought, wow, after 14 weeks, look at this, right? So I don't know, again, you have the other 4 courses. They obviously are progressing to some culmination, but for me, this was, for me, a good culmination leading into, think of the BIM Blitz. And again, I'm not sure if you've had any exposure of details of that yet, but that concept of going in front of industry and doing exercises and dialogues around scenario-based concepts. Engage, use what you've learned, and it's exciting stuff. So I don't know if you have any comments on this process here, or, positive or negative, that you'd like to share, by all means. If not,
Okay, excuse me? Yeah, sorry, but I may have the same problem of submitting another account because I just submitted one before the class. And
yes.
We're going to edit some stuff, so I don't know if
I will fix that right now. So if you guys can see my screen, yeah, it took me a while going back and forth, and then I found it's right here.
Sorry for that.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm glad you're asking, because this is my first time ever using Blackboard, so I had no clue it was this simple. So I'll put it to unlimited, so you guys can upload as many times as you desire, and it'll just be and I'll just grade the last one, and that's it. So you should be good now with that. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, as many times as you need to, go through it, get it up there. Well, I won't look at anything until probably after Christmas. So that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's going to be just family overload, but that's all good. Final exam, it's all multiple choice again. I would just recommend, my opinion would be, if you have time to do it prior to the holidays or just after, or whatever makes sense. I don't know what your other schedules are with the other courses going into January 12th. So I would say the sooner you can get this thing done, probably the better. And yeah, any other questions, comments, thoughts?
Thank you.
What's the final date for the submission of the finals again?
So for the presentation?
No, for the test.
Here, I'll verify right now what I put. I'm pretty sure it's January 12th, but let's see right now. It is, what did I put? Display until January 5th. Oh, hold on a minute. Sorry, it's Friday, January 5th. Good. I'm glad I opened it. And I think the reason for that is everything has to be done by the 12th. Yeah, so I think it's January 5th.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for asking, because I was telling you the wrong date. So for the record, January 5th is the last day for the exam.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's why I said having it open for 4 weeks. Try to make it as flexible as I can for you guys to do it whenever as it fits in. Okay.
And how long do we have to complete the test, the quiz, the final exam?
I set it to an hour.
Okay.
I think. Let me remind myself.
All multiple choice.
All multiple choice. Where does it say? 60 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So as usual, if there's any questions, email me. I keep trying to be as responsive as I can. The email comes to my phone. If we don't speak again, thank you so much. For me, this has been rewarding. I hope it has been for you all. I hope you have a good holiday. I'm very upset about how the work stoppage kind of affected the rhythm and really messed, and I hope I've done everything I can to accommodate, resolution after the work stoppage. And yeah, I hope your experience has been good. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already. It seems like I'm hiring BIM coordinators every month or so now. So yeah, just have fun, good luck, and happy holidays, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great day,
Thank you.
everyone.
You too.
Bye.